Today we're going to learn about a lady from America called Harriet Tubman. She was born a slave in 1820 on a plantation in Maryland. In America in those days, many wealthy white families kept black people as slaves and made them work on plantations where they grew things like cotton, sugar and tea. These slaves were treated very badly because of the colour of their skin. The slaves had been taken from different parts of Africa on big ships and then sold to different families. It's heartbreaking to even think about. Life as a slave was very, very difficult. It meant working from sun-up to sundown, 6 days a week, and having food sometimes not even suitable for animals to eat. Plantation slaves lived in small shacks with a dirt floor and little or no furniture, and the slave owners would often hurt them. Harriet first lived in a one-room cabin with her family that had 11 children. Harriet's mother taught the children from the Bible when they were young. As a teenager, Harriet worked a number of jobs on the plantation, such as ploughing the fields and loading produce into wagons. She became strong doing jobs such as hauling logs and driving oxen. At the age of 13, she received a horrible head injury. It happened when she was visiting the town, and a slave owner tried to throw an iron weight at one of his slaves, but missed and hit Harriet instead. The injury nearly killed her and caused her to get dizzy and faint for the rest of her life. But Harriet remembered how forgiving Jesus, her Saviour, was. And she said, "Oh dear Lord, change that man's heart and make him a Christian." Now during this time there were states in the northern part of America where slavery was not allowed, and slaves would try to escape to the north using a thing called the Underground Railroad. Now this wasn't a real railroad with trains and tracks. It was a number of safe homes called stations that hid slaves as they escaped north. The people that helped the slaves were called conductors. Slaves would move from station to station at night until they finally reached the north and freedom. Now in 1849, Harriet decided to escape. She would use the Underground Railroad. After a long and scary trip, where she walked many, many miles, she made it to a place called Pennsylvania and was finally free. This is what she said. "When I found I had crossed that line, I looked at my hands to see if I was the same person. There was such a glory over everything. The sun came like gold through the trees and over the fields, and I felt like I was in heaven." Harriet wanted to help others, including her own family, to safety. So she joined the Underground Railroad as a conductor. She led 19 different escapes from the south and helped around 300 slaves to escape. It was hard and it meant spending lots of time on her own in dangerous situations, but she said, "Oh dear Lord, I ain't got no friend but you. Come to my help, Lord, for I'm in trouble." She became known as Moses because she led her people to freedom. Harriet was truly brave. She risked her life and freedom to help others. She was so successful in helping slaves to escape that at one point, slave owners offered a reward of $40,000 for her capture. She also helped her family, including her mother and father, to escape. She was never caught and never lost a slave. When people were surprised at her courage and her bravery, or at the way that she kept going, she would always reply, "Don't I tell you, it wasn't me, it was the Lord." Harriet's bravery and service did not end with the Underground Railroad. She also helped during the Civil War. She helped to nurse injured soldiers. She served as a spy, and she even helped on a military campaign that led to the rescue of over 750 slaves in one go. After the war, she lived in New York with her family, where she helped poor and sick people. This is what someone once said of her: "I never met with any person who had more confidence in the voice of God. She frequently told me that she talked with God. She said she only went where God sent her, and her faith in him was truly great." You see, her life was a mighty example of someone who trusted God moment by moment. She died in 1913 at the age of 91. These were her last words, quoting her Saviour from John chapter 14. "I go to prepare a place for you." The woman who had welcomed so many into freedom on earth was now being welcomed by Jesus into her eternal home.